Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to my YouTube page. If you're watching this video on my YouTube page, Set of Son of the Fanatic, or the Team Forbidden YouTube page, it is I, Set of Son of the Fanatic. I have my boy Greymon here with me today. And the reason my boy is here today is because, well, today we're going through the big binder. The reason I started playing and collecting this game in the first place. So last time we did my Terriermon Lopmon binder. This time it's the Taikamiya Agumon Greymon binder. The primary red ones. So this binder is all the way through, so this is going to be a little bit of a journey. Don't know if I'm going to have to cut this into two parts, if Andrew's going to have to cut it into two parts, but this is the big one. So start to finish, let's go. All right, so as you can see here, we have, starting with the first starter deck, we've got the Greymons, the Agumons, and the ST11 Agumons. The way that I'm organizing this binder is I'm going by release date, with alt arts following the regular ones. I'm not doing any stamped cards or event pack cards, at least not just yet. If I'm able to get them, maybe I'll throw all of them in here at some point, or maybe I'll just rearrange everything. But right now, I wanted to allocate this binder to nothing that was stamped and just Tai, Agumon, and Greymons. So, and Greymons, of course, because Greymon is the version 1 baby. So we have the Greymons here. Next we have the Artist Pack Agumon from Starter Deck 1 into all the different artworks for the Starter Deck 1 Greymon. Generic Security Attack +1. This card is still really good, even though you haven't seen me run it in my latest deck profiles. This card is always good. It's never not going to be good unless they come out with a Greymon that has this exact same inheritable and does something on Digivolve or on play or something like that. So next, we have the Metal Greymons from the Starter Deck 1, including the original and foil reprints. The War Greymon. The other thing that I don't have in here is the Winter War Greymon, because those are just a little too hard to get. They're a little too expensive. Plus, it's like well out of my budget. So, Tai from Starter Deck 1. The reprint of Tai, that's the full art, and Giga Destroyer, and all the different Gaia Force. They've done 4 different printings of this card now. Gaia Force is Gaia Force. Gaia Force is always good. Alright, now into BT1. So we started BT1. We could have thrown Agumon Expert in here, that we might in the future, but for now, just regular old Tai and Agumons. So we've got Agumon from the pack, the alt art from the box toppers, which was an alternate art in the pack, I believe, in Japan. It was probably a box topper in Japan too. The anniversary one, the Flora collection, and the RB1 printing of it. Same card number, so I put it with the rest of them. Greymon from BT1. I'd argue this Greymon is highly underrated because it's a 4 cost to play and it's got this more generic inheritable than the BT5 one. The alt art for that, Metal Greymon, the Skull Greymon from the set, and the Skull Greymon from ST11. One of, if not still, I say the best War Greymons in the game. I'm still trying to find ways to use this guy because this guy is just, he's just way too good. And the alt art from him. Starter Deck 11, all the ties from BT1. This will probably forever be the best red tamer in the game. Can't really say much else. Great Tornado. It's not really all that usable now, but I'll find a way to make use of it at some point. Oblivion Bird, Brave Shield, and the Brave Shield art rare. I wish I could find a way to make this work, but the problem is the plugins just automatically just power creep this guy. So what can you do? And then another card that I think is highly underrated, secret rare Metal Greymon from BT1. This thing is an absolute beast and can actually steal games on its own, even with, you know, paying 5 memory when you attack. So yeah, it's everything in BT1. I basically organize everything by booster and card number, and if it's got alt arts, the alt arts will follow right away. Speaking of the promos, we've got the non-holo, we've got the holo, and we've got the anniversary version of it. I've always liked this card, but this card is always it's just super, super niche, and basically the new one with Takuma in the picture kind of replaces it. So, Promo Agumon, the reprint of the Promo Agumon that has nice red foil. I've got one of these signed by Tom Fawn, the voice of Agumon from the original Adventure series. So good. And Greymon, Promo Greymon that gets security attack +1 if you have Agumon in the sources. Next up, one of my favorite option cards that I have not used in a long while, Heir of Dragons. Here's the original printing from BT4. And here's the printing from the starter deck, or ST11. As you can see, Greymon is in the background of the picture right there. That's basically the only other thing. It either has to mention it in the card text, or it has to have it in the artwork. That's the only stipulation for me including the option cards in this binder. Best Greymon egg, don't care what anyone says. And here I have the full playset of the tournament promo one, and the reprint from RB1. BT5 Agu, I still think this guy is really, really good, and you should try and find room for him if you can, but space is tight in decks. The various 3 alt arts, again, don't have the event pack one. I might look into tracking that one down, especially because I don't believe they're going for all that much right now. The Greymons from BT5, and the Alteris mode. I argue this card is still pretty good, but the problem is the promo just completely outclasses it. It just completely power creeps it. And next we have War Greymon, Transcendent Sword, and Ties Growing Up, mentions Tai, mentions Agumon, enough said there. We have the first reprint of the Red Memory Boost in here. This is literally only in here because it's got Koromon on it. The other ones are in the other binder. Agumon from BT6, both the regular and the alt art. Agumon Bond of Bravery, and the alt art. Yeah, I know, it bugs me that it's not called Bond of Courage. But Yuki basically translates to courage or bravery, so it's a relatively loose translation. So let's see if I can get these up here. There we go. Sorry, it's my first time doing this on my own, so if the camera's a little wonky, I'm sorry. Tai from BT6 and Red Reamer, which is the Bond of Bravery signature attack. Next, we have the Agumon from EX1 and the alt art for there. And unfortunately, because of how things are placed right now, the alt art that we just got, which is the whole reason why I'm recording this video, Artist Rare goes right in there. So we've got Artist Rare Agumon from EX1. Literally the exact same card, just different picture. Greymon, Greymon, Greymon. Again, same card, just different artworks. This is the retro artwork, which for some reason they decided to make it look like the American card game, even though we never got this card over here. So, whatever. Metal Greymon. This one we did actually get. But yeah, as you can see, we've got full play sets of these. On to the next page. The special exclusive alt art and the War Greymons. Then Baptism by Fire, which is garbage. Don't play it. It's literally only in here just because War Greymon's in the artwork. Metal Greymon from BT7. As I'm sure you guys saw, this was in my deck profile for the regional there where I got 51st place. I'd argue that this Metal Greymon is highly underrated right now. I'd also argue it's better than the Ace. But 51st place isn't first place. And there's obviously still work to be done, and I've still got stuff to figure out. But this is a highly underrated card as well, in my opinion, and I like it a lot. The games where I basically had to hard play this and then drop my memory tamer, I basically won if my opponent didn't have an answer. Flame Memory Boost gives you security attack +1. Giga Storm from BT7. This is the only BT7 cards that had there. And then we had the campaign promo, War Greymon. And the art rare that just came out, which is the Illustrator Pack 2, which is an alternate art of this one. Why they decided to pick the absolute worst War Greymon card in the game for this gorgeous piece of artwork, I have literally no idea. I don't know why this isn't, the BT14 one, since it basically shows Agumon Warp Digivolving in the artwork. But next set, we've got the 2 Coromons from BT9. These Coromons are really good. I'd argue this might be better in a Bond of Bravery strategy, because it'll give Agumon an additional 1000 DP as well. But the card draw is just always super nice. And if you can choose between DP and card draw, 9 times out of 10, you're going to pick the card draw. And then we have all the X antibody stuff. This stuff might actually be breaking the rule, because Tai didn't really have the X antibody stuff. So these are probably going to get moved to the alternate Agumon binder. But this is still, it's regular Agumon to War Greymon, so I'm kind of cheating by putting them in here. And I've got all the alt arts for these. There's supposedly an all-red version of this Metal Greymon X that is coming in something called Limited Pack 2. The problem is we don't know when the hell we're getting that. If we're getting it at all, they might just make it into an event pack card like Rise Greymon X. So, yeah, and regular War X. You remember this boy, the bad boy, the alt art of War Greymon X. I still really, really like this card a lot. Tai and Kari, sibling power. At the moment of recording this video, I'm going out to see my sister tomorrow to celebrate her birthday. Her birthday was on the 1st of this month. She and I are basically Tai and Kari IRL. She loved the Godamon line. I loved the Greymon line. So, I don't know if you're watching this, sis, but sibling cosplay win! Anyways, moving on. Guy 4-0. Then I have both the non-foil and foil promos of the Alteros mode. This card is so good. Agumon from RB1. I decided to move this here instead of have it in the right next to the PO9. It's got the same card number, but technically it was released ages later. So it's technically an alt art, but it's technically got its own card number, so it technically isn't. So, yeah, basically. And then the Greymon for there. Coromons from BT9. This card is great, but I'd argue that the BT5 one is just overall better. Agumon, the alt arts. These arts are... I love this art so much. Made my night pulling this guy at the sneak peek. Kind of like what happened with Strabimon with Blue Hybrid. So good. The Greymon here. And then we're getting into the last couple of pages. I managed to procure a playset of all 3 different artworks of Metal Greymon Ace. I've tried to make this card work. It just does not work for me. But goddamn, these artworks are really freaking cool. I mean, look at this. Look at these. This one, the English exclusive, is especially sick. I mean, yike. And of course, you can never go wrong with Kenji. Kenji's one of the original Digimon illustrators. I got a Blitz Greymon signed by him that I need to get through grading at work. And we got regular Taikamiya. As I've said, for the alt art, as I said in the deck profile, I called this card trash when it came out, when it was revealed. It actually put in a lot more work than I expected it to, and I'm really happy to be proven wrong on this one. Plus, the artwork looks really, really nice. In a collection, it just looks super, super sick. Mega Flame, I wouldn't recommend playing this card, but whatever. It's got Greymon in it. So, and then to finally round off the binder, we have Dragon of Courage and 4 copies of each of the Secret Rare War Greymons. And that is the way I've got my red tie Agumon Koromon binder right now. So, guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications. Let us know any other... I've got a couple more collections that I'm completing as well that I'm going to show off. But if you guys want to see any specific ones from any of us, comment down below, let us know, and hit that subscribe button. I think I've already said that. I think I'm basically done. Koromon, you got something to say? I'm hungry. You're always hungry, buddy. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.